in his eyes. Then the madness ran towards this. Lin Xin and Shumo sensed that the smell emitted by the quality assurance of this land. At this moment, his expression was even more shocked to an extreme. Eyes open, boss. I almost dropped my jaw. They never expected it to be a real emperor. It would be great if you gave it to them. Don't be surprised. Let's go. Look at the expressions and reactions of the two. Ling Feng smiled indifferently. Then he waved his sleeve robe. The three of them disappeared in place. In the blink of an eye, he has returned to the backyard of Lingfu, Yanwu Field. The scent of Hunyuan Pearl. Ling Feng used a secret method. Cover up the past, unless Shumo uses, otherwise it won't appear again. It's just this space teleportation, supernatural power, but it surprised Lin Qing and Shumo for a long time. I just came back to my senses. He looked at Lin Feng with an almost adoring look. No more questions. Looking at the long-lost Lin mansion in front of you, Lin Qing immediately looked around. There is emotion in my eyes. Since leaving Lin mansion 10 years ago, he never wanted to come back here. After all, this is also his home. It's where he grew up. Looking around with Lin Qing, standing in the center of the salt marshal field, Lin Qing discovered it. This breath felt very familiar to them. It's almost exactly the same as that Hunyuan bead. Is this also a quality assurance? Lin Qing and Shumo were again trapped in their minds. He was shocked. I didn't realize it made a good sound. Lin Feng smiled faintly. Explain the authentic quality assurance tower. First floor of the tower is 10 times that of the outside world. The 2-story tower is 20 times the cultivation of the outside world, and so on. Now, there are already more than a dozen neighborhood disciples practicing inside. The one with the lowest cultivation base has already reached the 7 Seas realm. The one with the highest cultivation is Lingyan Earth Evil Gold Double Heaven. I have been practicing for about 10 days. Currently on the 2nd floor of the Balian Tower. Lin Feng's tone was very flat. Lin Qing and Shumo heard this. But my mind is roaring. The blood all over his body seemed to be boiling. Ground Evil Mirror Yan Emperor has actually arrived at the Ground Evil well, and it only took a few days. Lin Qing kept repeating these words. It still seems unbelievable. Although Lin Feng today, they have been given many surprises. But Lin Qing still felt a little hard to digest at the moment. What Lin Yan practiced was the Earth Grade technique. Wait until you obtain the Earth Grade cultivation method and practice for a period of time. You should be able to compete with him. 1 or 2, Lin Feng said with a faint smile. Then point your fingertips. A flat earth method will be entered into Lin Qing's mind. Lin Qing's mind, Wang Ming. I was about to sit cross-legged and cultivate immediately. After closing my eyes and digesting it for a while, he just opened his eyes. At this time, Lin Qing's cultivation base, astonishingly, it has also arrived at the Sea of Qi for nearly 8 layers of heaven. Distance to breakthrough Tiangong Path. It's only 1 step away. It is indeed the cultivation method of the earth leveling method. So amazing. Lin Qing's eyes showed horror, not only some surprises and admiration. What he originally practiced was a profound, low-grade cultivation method. He used it for nearly 10 years. Finally, cultivated to a small town, arrived at the 2nd heaven of the Sea of Qi. He felt that this was already the pride of his generation. Level of existence. But now he realizes that he used to be just a frog in a well. This world, there are also people with faster cultivation speed and cultivation methods. He's a little too arrogant, seeing Lin Qing break through so quickly. Next to Lin Qing's fiancé, Shumo is also a little thick, uncertain, and envious. I also want a practice like this. There was a slight sour look in his eyes. He wanted to say something, but I'm a little embarrassed, because he has obtained a treasure of earth. But now, why are you so embarrassed to ask for another piece of land-grade work? This is just for Shumo to think this way. They all blush. Lin Feng seemed to have seen through his thoughts. Smile slightly. Then the fingertips gently clicked again. A piece of land-quality practice. It was transmitted into Shumo's mind again. Once such a Shumo, immediately imitate Lin Qing's appearance and sit cross-legged on the ground. After a while, Shumokai finally got up again. He respectfully saluted Lin Feng. His face was flushed, and he said, "Thank you, big brother. Such a great kindness." Shumo doesn't know how to repay. The only thing he could think of, to become your neighbor as soon as possible. I'm afraid it can be paid off. Shumo quietly pulled Lin Qing. The two looked at each other. He quickly got into the tower, started to practice and improve like crazy. In the blink of an eye, a few days have passed. These days, almost all the disciples of the Lin family work hard in the 100 Refinement Pagoda. The cultivation strength has also been rapidly improved. Lin Feng saw this wood outside. It was very comforting. Suddenly, Lin Feng seemed to feel something. Slowly raise your head and look at the sky. Miles away from the Lin family, there is a long rainbow hurtling towards the Lin family. The speed was so fast that it was in front of Lin Feng in an instant. White people have the cultivation of victory level. Light is breath. It is enough to destroy the entire Tianluo city several times. But Lin Feng didn't panic at all when he saw this. Still standing lightly, with a smile in her eyes, she watched the long rainbow fall to the ground. Turned into a demon of a white-robed old man. It turned out that he was going out for revenge. The elder finally returned from Dongyu's Yaozong. He has not forgotten the promise he made at the beginning to meet the young master, to become the breath that converges after landing. Then immediately clasped his fists towards Lin Feng in front of him. Let's get started. Lin Feng's deputy stands, said lightly, since you have chosen to join my Lin family, so from now on, you are the inner elder of my Lin family, responsible for guarding the Lin family and teach disciples to love the elixir. If you still keep the contract in 100 years, I'll bail you into the well. Lin Feng's voice came out faintly, if in the ears of Medicine City. But it is like a 9-day thunder tribulation frightened into the earth. To look shocked, it still seems a little unbelievable. But then, something happened to him. Immediately clasped his fists slightly towards Lin Feng and did a wisp. Thank you, young master. From now on, the medicine minister will bow down for the Lin family and respect death. Then you step back. Lin Feng waved his hand. The medicine minister bowed respectfully and quietly withdrew, and Lin Feng took a step forward. Shift your body. He came to the western regions again. The sky above the Queen Mother of the West, who imprisoned his parents. Palm, a quaint jade pendant, appeared in his hands, emitting a feeble shimmer. This glimmer condensed into a beam of light. It seems to point to somewhere in the western regions. That feeling, it's like being pointed at by this little light. Something is beckoning him. That thing seems to be connected to his bloodline, and very old. At least it's something from hundreds of thousands of years ago. Lin Feng frowned slightly. Follow the direction of this shimmer, and then you step forward again. Lin Feng is very fast. He came to an abandoned valley again. The valley lies deep in the mountains, hidden. If it weren't for Lin Feng's space leap, otherwise, ordinary dancers would never find it here. Because here, near the mountains, Lin Feng also felt his spine. At least the requirements of a victorious powerhouse sleeping here, if someone breaks in from the outside world, will alarm them, so that foreign dancers can take their wings. The original king of internal drama, in the soul search of the Virgin Mary too. This jade pendant, it seems to be our neighbor. An ancient tomb dating back hundreds of thousands of years. Could it be that this valley is the entrance to the ancient tomb? 10-1 Niao. Kuru and Violakain Chiu, she will see while. Nusta tur Chalmancino. Hang Sophia, the stars Sachali. Huatrai, Guahman Huatrai, Takasawan. Hang DF Seal Entrusu. Kayan Soidane. Miso Wida Tafida. Equal Da Ida Selduithia. Yeah. The cafe is interest wakang shas. The cafe is interesting. E cafe is interesting. Nadsha sol, dame haishur. Eliko luisi, T.